Tomorrow is Super Tuesday, the biggest day of primary season, and joining me to talk about it is CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto. Anthony, great to see you as always, and I want to jump right in with the news of the day. We have the Supreme Court ruling that Trump can stay on the ballot in Colorado. I'm wondering if that and also his other legal issues are having any impact as we've seen it so far, and if you think we'll see it on Tuesday when it comes to people going in and casting their ballot.
Hey there, Marie. Great to talk to you again. Look, here's the state of the race nationally going into this. We have Donald Trump up 52-48 over Joe Biden. That's actually Donald Trump's largest lead in our national polling to date. So to your question about his legal issues as well as whether his name ought to have been on the ballot, frankly, in recent polling, we saw very partisan splits on that. Democrats saying take his name off, Republicans saying his name should stay on. Obviously, the court has weighed in there, so public opinion is what it is. But I'm going to show you this, Marie, because it does speak to this argument about who would keep democracy safe, this argument about his ongoing legal challenges. We find this, and that is just under half of voters in the country believe that the former president tried to stay in office and that he tried to do so by unconstitutional or illegal means. For those folks, they are voting overwhelmingly for Joe Biden.
Okay, the economy always top of mind for everyone. Experts say it's looking pretty good, it's improving in a lot of markers, but why is that not necessarily helping President Joe Biden in this race?
Well, it's a great question. Let me show you why. When you're comparing two presidents, to former president or a former president and a president, you're talking about comparing two presidencies. So we asked people to look back. How do you remember the economy was under Donald Trump? And what we find is that 2/3 of voters say they remember that economy as being good. Then you compare that to the current rating of the economy, and their memory of under the Trump years is much higher than that. And that's advantaging former President Trump right now. What's interesting about this too, Marie, is that if you go back to the polling from 2018, from 2019, people did in fact rate the economy as good, but they subsequently had lower ratings of the economy after the pandemic, after the shutdown. So it appears that it's that first part that's really dominating in their memory right now. And then there's this second part of it that I want to show you. And that is when we talk about prices, when we talk about inflation, how does that play out? And for that, I'm going to show you a couple of things. One is, do they have a vision for the country? And that's important because if these are uncertain times, people want a roadmap. They want to know where things are going. And in that case, Joe Biden is at 50-50, yes and no, but Donald Trump has a higher number saying he has a vision for the country. And so all of those things go into not just what we're watching Super Tuesday, but also what we're watching as the State of the Union unfolds later this week, Marie.
Right, a lot of interesting data heading into it. Anthony Salvanto, thank you so much.